Perimeter and area. Basic geometric figures. So we have a square. Square has all equal sides. All angles are 90 degrees and diagonals are perpendicular. So if we draw diagonals, they would be perpendicular. Then we have a rectangle. Rectangle has length and width. Opposite sides are equal and all angles are 90 degrees. Then we have rhombus. Rhombus has all equal sides and opposite angles. This is opposite angles are equal and diagonals are perpendicular. This is diagonal is perpendicular to the other diagonal. Then we have parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal. So this side is equal to that side and opposite angles are equal. So those ones are opposite angles are equal. Then we have triangles. Triangles, we can have equilateral triangle, all equal sides. This side is equal to those sides and all angles are equal. So all angles are equal. That means all angles would be 60 degrees. Then we have isosceles triangle. That means two sides are equal and the two sides are equal and the angles by the two sides are also equal. We call it base angle because this is my base. Then we have a trapezoid. Trapezoid has two parallel bases and we can have a trapezoid equilateral triangle trapezoid, that would be the sides right here, or just general trapezoid as we have right here. The perimeter of a geometric figure on a plane is the distance around the figure. So perimeter is used, for example, when buying a fence for a yard, you're trying to calculate how much you need, how much fence do you need, or to determine how much baseboard is needed in a room, or to figure out the length of a ribbon or lace needed to go around the edge of a blanket or a picture frame. To calculate the perimeter, simply we're gonna add length of all sides if the figure has lengths, because circle does not have certain lengths, but circumference is the distance around. So perimeter of circle would be circumference, and that perimeter is calculated 2 pi r, where r is the radius. Diameter is double radius. This is one radius and second radius. So diameter is 2 of the radii, and radius is just one from the center to the edge of the circle. Then we have example. Sarah is building a rectangular garden. The length of the garden is 15 feet and the width is 8 feet. She also plans to add a divider down the exact middle of the garden, running parallel to the shorter side. How many feet of fencing will she need to enclose the entire garden and create the divisor? So we can make a rectangular garden. Okay, we have our length, and the length is 15 feet, and we have our width is 8 feet, and she also plans to write a divisor exactly in the middle, parallel to the shorter distance. Parallel means that it never meets. It's parallel to the shortest distance, so it would be right in the middle. So it would be right in the middle, right here. So to calculate all the distances, we will have 15 feet, and another 15 feet, and then we have 8, 8, and 8. So we simply add all of them. So perimeter would be 15 plus 8 plus 15 plus 8. That would be regular perimeter of a rectangle, 15 plus 8 plus 15 plus 8. And now we have one more 8 for the divider in the middle. So we have plus 8. And if we calculate all of them together, those two would be 30, those two would be 30, plus 3 times 8 is 24. So total distance should be 54. So she would need 54 feet of fencing. Example 2, Ms. Jones is making 10 identical triangular flags for a school event. Each flag has 2 equal sides that are 6 inches long and its base is 4 inches. She wants to add a ribbon border around each flag. So we're gonna have it a ribbon border around each flag. How much ribbon is needed for one flag and how much ribbon does she need to buy the 10 flags. So we have 2 sides are 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, and the base is 4 inches. So for one flag, to find it, we would just add the distance around 4 plus 6 plus 6. So perimeter, we have 4 plus 6 plus 6. So this equals to 16. 16 inches for one flag is needed. And then part B, because she's planning to do 10 of them, so we would need to add 10 times. So 10 times 16, so that gives us 160 inches of ribbon she needs. Example 3. A circular racetrack has radius of 40 meters. A runner completes 5 laps around the track. What total distance did the runner cover? So let's see the solution. We have the circular track with the radius of 40. So certainly we need to find the distance around. So that would be our circumference. We know that circumference is 2 pi r. So we can substitute for r 40. So we will have 2 pi times 40. 2 times 40 is 80 pi. If we punch on calculator as pi, 80 times pi, we will get 251.3174, which we can round it to about 251.32 meters. This would be 1 lap. Now, the runners run 5 laps, so we need to multiply the distance times 5. If we multiply times 5, we'll have 5 times, and that's the total distance the runner is running. Now we have surface area. The area, not surface area, just the area. Area is the amount of surface in a region. Area is always measured in square units. This is because you are essentially multiplying 2 dimensions like length times width. Together, common units are square centimeter, centimeter square, or meter square, or inches square, or feet square. The area is used when we calculate the amount of carpet needed in a room, or trying to figure out how much paint is required to cover a wall, determining the size of the piece of land, or designing garden for building layouts. So this area is this amount, the region inside. Perimeter would be on the outside, but the area would be the region inside. So now we have couple formulas that we should know. Area of a rectangle is length times width. Area of a square could be also length times width, but because length is the same size and width is the same size, we can write size times size or size square. But if you multiply both sides, that's also the same. For parallelogram and for rhombus, area would be base times the height. The same as for rhombus, base times the height. Why is that? Because we can see here, if I take this small triangle and place it right here on that side, I'm gonna have rectangle. Here would be B and here would be height. So we have the B times H, B times height. So that's why parallelogram, area of parallelogram and rhombus is base times height. Triangle, we have 1/2 base times height because it's essentially half of a rectangle. Area of the circle is pi r square, and in that case we have right here pi r square. For trapezoid, area of the trapezoid is 1/2 height, base 1 plus base 2. This area comes if we divide this trapezoid into two triangles. We would have area of this triangle, so that's base 2, and area of the second triangle, that would be the base 1, and later we need to add them together. So this is the area of the trapezoid. So let's see some example. Find the area of the given figure, and in the first one we can either go with the area of a trapezoid as whole trapezoid, or we can divide this into rectangle and a triangle. Both would be correct. So let's divide into rectangle and triangle. So area of a rectangle area, let's call it area 1. Area of our rectangle would be equal length, in that case length is 12, times the height times the width, which is 4. 12 times 4 is 48. Now, if this distance is 12 and the total distance is 18, so 18, we subtract this 12, we would have this side. So 18 minus 12 is nothing else but 4. So area of this triangle is 1/2 base times height. My base is 4, my height is 4 here as well. I'm sorry, 18 minus 12 is 6. So the base is 6, right here is 6, and here is 4. So area of the triangle is 1/2 times 6 times 4, and in that case is 12. Then we can add the total area. So we would have 48 plus 12. So the total area is exactly 60, and we have feet square. So the area of the whole shape is 16 feet square. Now part B, this rectangle, this shape we can also divide into two. So we have that the whole side is 6 and the sides would be 7, because total distance is 11 minus 4 here would be 7. So now we have area, we can call it area of first rectangle. Area 1 would be 6 times 7. We had the 6 times 7, so this area is 42, and area 2, or the smaller of the smaller rectangle would be 4 times 3. So we have 4 times 3, in that case is 12. And then we add this total area. So we add them together, 42 plus 12, and we getting 54, and we have centimeters square. That's my area. And then figure 3, this third figure is my rectangle and half of the circle. This would be whole circle, and this is half of the circle. Radius of the circle is right here, so it would be half of the 6. So radius right here, radius is 3. So we have area 1, or area of the rectangle, would be 6 times 8, which is 48. It's right here, 6 times 8. And then we have area of the circle, area 2, or circle, or half circle, would be 1/2 times pi times r square. 1/2 because we have half of the circle. Half of the circle is right here. So then we have that this area is equal to 1/2 times pi times 3 square. So we have 9 times 1/2 times pi. Punch everything on calculator, and we should get 9 times pi, and we should get 14.137, so 14.13. And then if I add the total area, we would add 48 into this, so total area would be 62.137, so would be 1/4 here, should have been 1/4. So this area is 62.14 meters square. Example 5, a living room is 18 feet long and 14 feet wide. Emily wants to carpet the entire room. The carpet she likes costs $3.25 per square foot. Installation cost additional $1.35 per square foot. What is the area of the living room? So we can get the living room. Okay, we have length times width. My length is 18 feet and my width is 14 feet. So part A, area of a rectangle is length times width. So in that case is 18 times 14. So 18 times 14 is 252 square feet. So that's part A. What is the total cost of carpet? So part B, each square feet, we have 252 square feet. Each square feet cost $3.25, so we need to multiply times my square feet. So C cost of the carpet would be $3.25 times 252 square feet. And if I multiply this, I believe I'm getting $819. And part C, so this is cost of carpet. Part C, installation, cost would be the same square foot, 252 times, but in that case we have $1.35. If I multiply this, I'm getting 340.20 for installation. So then I can add my total. I can add 818 plus 340.20, and if I add this together to get total cost, would be 1,159.20. So the total cost of placing the carpet in her living room is 1,159.20. Example 6. David wants to paint his two garage doors. Each garage door is 9 feet wide and 6 feet high. He wants to apply 2 coats of paint. A can of paint covers 100 square feet and costs $16.99. What is the total area for both garage doors combined? What is the total area David needs to cover with paint, considering 2 coats? And how many cans of paint will he need? And what would be the total cost? All right, so we have two garage doors that are 8 feet by 7. So here is my 8 feet by 7 one garage door, and here we have another garage door 8 feet by 7. So the first one we have, I'm sorry, not 8 but 9 feet by 7, and here would be 9 feet by 7. So part A, one door would be, the area of one door would be 9 times 7, which is 63, and for 2 doors, would be 2 times 63. So in that case, we're gonna have 126 square feet square. So this is my area that needs to be painted. Now, what is the total area for both doors? So that's part A. What is the total area David needs to cover with paint, considering 2 coats? So now we need to multiply this times 2 for 2 coats. So we have 2 times 126 for 2, using 2 coats. So in that case, we will have it 252 square feet for 2 coats. And part C, how many cans are needed? If one can covers 100 square feet, and we need 252, so we would divide this 252 divided by 100 square feet. That would be the total, how many cans do we need? And if we divide this, we would get 2.52, so 2.5 cans. So this is approximately 3 cans of paint. And part D, if each paint costs 16.99, so now we would multiply 3 cans times 16.99, and we will get the total cost So this is 50.79. I'm sorry, $97. The total cost for painting those two doors with two coats. So it would be $50.97. Example 7. A rectangular deck measured 24 feet by 14. It needs to be refurnished with a special deck stain. 1 can of stain covers 150 square feet and costs $36.50. What is the total area of the deck? How many cans of deck stain will be required? And what will be the total cost for the deck stain? So let's see the solution. We have a rectangular deck with 24 feet of length and 14 feet width. So we need to find the total area. We know that the area is equal to length times width. So we have 24 times 14, which if we type it on calculator, it should give us 336 feet square. Now for part B, how many cans of deck stain will be required? We know that 1 can covers 150 square feet. So our area gonna be divided by the 150 square feet. So we have 336 divided by 150. That gives us approximately 2.24 cans. Because we cannot buy 0.24, so we need to round it up. So we need basically 3 cans of deck stain. So we need 3 cans. Now for the cost, what will be the total cost of the stain? We need 3, so 3 times cost of 1, 36.50, and that gives us 109.50 cents. So the total cost would be 109.50 cents. Example 8. A man wants to wallpaper one accent wall in a room. The wall is 16 by 10 feet. The wallpaper costs 76 per roll, and each roll will cover 50 square feet. What is the area of the wall the man wants to wallpaper? How many rolls is needed? And what would be the total cost? So as before, we have a rectangular wallpaper, and we have it that it has 16 feet long and 10 feet wide. So the area is 16 times 10, and in that case is 160 square feet. That's the area of the wall. So this is part A. Part B, if one roll covers 50 square meters, so my total area we would divide by 50. So we have 160 divided by 50. So this would give me 3.2. 3.2 of a roll. So the man needs 4 rolls. Because we cannot buy 3.2 of a roll, we need to have rounded up to the whole roll, not really rounded up because it would be 3, but in that case we need to have it whole extra roll to cover the extra space. So part C, we have 4 rolls. 4 rolls times $76. So the cost of the wallpaper would be 304. $304. And one more example. Maria wants to tile her rectangular kitchen floor, measure 10 feet by 12. Each tile is 1 feet by 2 and costs $2.50. She needs to buy an additional 10% of tiles for cutouts and breaks. What is the area? How many tiles Maria needs? How many extra? What is the total number of tiles? And what is the cost? We have a rectangular floor. We have 12 feet by 10. So part A, what is the area of the kitchen floor? Area is 12 times 10, which is 120 square feet. Part B, calculate area of one tile. One tile, each tile is 2 by 1, so we're gonna have 2 times 1. Area of one tile is 2 square feet. For part C, how many tiles she needs? We have 120 square feet to cover. We would divide by 2 feet. So we have 120 divided by 2. That gives me 60 tiles she needs. 60 tiles is needed. Now, for part D, if she want additional 10%, so let's calculate 10% of 60. For part D, 10%, first we're gonna change 10% to decimal. So this is 10 divided by 100, which is 0.1. And then we have the original amount is 60 times the percent in decimal, 0.1, gives me the additional 6 tiles. So total tiles would be, total number of tiles is 60 plus 6, so it's 66 tiles. And each tile costs $2.50, so now we have cost. We would have 66 times $2.50, so the cost is $165 to tile the kitchen.